You know that feeling, right? That little knot of anxiety that starts tightening up as you head to the airport. You're hoping for a smooth trip, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head worried that something's going to go wrong. Well, today, we're going to tackle two of the biggest, most common trip-ruining mistakes head on. Let's get you traveling like a pro so you can leave all that stress behind for good. Just picture this for a second. You're sprinting through the airport terminal. Your carry-on is bouncing all over the place. You're dodging people left and right. Your heart is absolutely pounding. You can't catch your breath, and you can see it. The gate agent is reaching for the handle to close that door. It's that desperate last-second dash that can turn all the excitement for your trip into pure, unfiltered panic. Okay, now let's hit rewind and go back to an earlier but just as stressful moment. You're at the check-in counter, feeling pretty good about things, and then you hear those dreaded words. "I'm sorry, but our scale says your bag is overweight." And just like that, you're stuck. Either you're frantically unpacking your suitcase for everyone to see, or you're paying a huge, unexpected fee. It's frustrating, it's public, and it is a terrible way to kick off a vacation. Look, both of these scenarios, the crazy race to the gate and the public baggage battle, are total travel nightmares. But here's the thing, they are almost entirely preventable. This isn't just a case of bad luck. These things happen because of a couple of really common and totally fixable mistakes. So, what are these two problems, really? Let's actually give them a name, because once we identify them, we can start to take away all the stress they cause. On one side, we've got what I call the baggage blunder. This is that awful, sinking feeling you get when an unforgiving airline scale completely ruins all your careful packing. And, on the other side, you have the time crunch. This is basically a race against the clock that you created yourself, where you're literally seconds away from watching your plane leave without you. Both cause a ton of stress, but they come from two totally different planning hiccups. So this all leads to the big question, right? How do you flip the script? How do you go from being a victim of airport chaos to being the one who's completely in control of your travel day? Well, it all comes down to having a simple, proactive plan. All right, let's start with problem number one, the luggage. Conquering the scale isn't really about packing less, it's about packing smarter and being totally prepared before you even walk out your front door. First, let's be really clear about the villain of this story: overweight baggage fees. You have to understand airlines are incredibly strict about this. There are no exceptions. These fees are expensive, they are not up for debate, and trust me, they can take a serious bite out of your vacation budget before you've even left the ground. But the good news is, avoiding this whole mess is easy with a simple 3-step check. Step 1, know the rules. Before a single thing goes into your suitcase, go online and check your airline's specific weight limits. Step 2, weigh it at home, but do it after your bag is completely packed. Use a proper luggage scale for this. And step 3, confirm with certainty. Don't guess, don't hope for the best. Know for a fact that you are under the limit. This little routine removes all the guesswork, and with it, all the stress. Okay, so our bag is handled. Let's move on and tackle the time crunch. This is all about getting through the airport with a purpose, not with panic. The second you make it through the security checkpoint, there is one piece of information that becomes your absolute top priority. It's more important than finding coffee, more important than grabbing a snack, and definitely more important than duty-free shopping. And that is your gate number. Think of it as your real destination inside the airport. So here's your new game plan. As soon as you're through security, your eyes are looking for the big departures board. Find your flight, find your gate. Then you're going to head directly there. Don't stop, don't get sidetracked. By getting to your gate first, you know exactly where you need to be, and more importantly, how much time you actually have to spare. And that leads to the best step of all, you get to relax. You see, by just mastering our luggage and mastering our time, we've basically created a blueprint for a completely different kind of travel day, one that's calm, confident, and puts you back in the driver's seat. So let's wrap this all up with the Confident Traveler's Checklist. First, always confirm the baggage weight limits for your airline. Second, weigh those fully packed bags at home. Third, just give yourself plenty of time at the airport. And finally, find your gate number the second you clear security. That's it. Following these simple steps is your ticket to a calm, stress-free start to every single trip you take. Now, these are two of the biggest roadblocks for sure, but every traveler kind of develops their own little hacks over time. So that leaves me with one last question for you to think about. What's your personal #1 secret for a totally calm and smooth airport experience? Because mastering that, well, that's the real key to a perfect getaway.